Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning, and I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade, and I've held every single job except selling popcorn. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, my tag partner, my best friend, Zane Riley. Just want to go ahead and just say best friend and piss off all my other best friends.
We're going to just try to umbrella everything, and that's what we got.
That's what we got. Zane, how are you doing today?
Slightly inebriated, man.
I
had some stuff, I had to do some stuff earlier, and then I had a big gap between then and now, and I didn't want to go back to my side of town, so I went to one of our local fine breweries to buy some t-shirts, and buy some t-shirts, quotations. That's a real weird term. What if I just started? I went to go buy some t-shirts, but I just went and got shaken.
I looked at you weird. Okay,
I actually did buy.
I'm glad you acknowledged the weirdness that happened in the room.
I did buy t-shirts from Legion Brewing in Charlotte here.
From a guy who primarily wears tank tops and cutoffs.
Well, I'm gonna cut the sleeves off.
Oh, okay.
Calm down.
Okay.
Don't get ahead of me.
Okay,
bud.
well, just buy some tanks. Buy some tanks.
They don't make them in fat guy sizes. They only had girls large as their biggest size in tank tops. So that's sexist. They're kinds of pieces of shit for that. But anyway, I haven't drank in a while. Weird, I know. But so 2 beers did a really good job.
Breaking stereotypes of Zane Riley.
Right. Went to the gym today. I got lost and ended up there, but I was there. I did it.
You're not even the same person anymore.
I'm probably going to fast tomorrow.
So it's like I have 2 new people on the podcast, basically.
And I hate wrestling, so we're both, her and I are right there together.
I'm sure our non-wrestling fan definitely does hate wrestling now. I don't think we swayed her on this at all. But our non-wrestling fan joining us today is comedian Crystalle Ramey. Crystalle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
I want to cry a little bit.
What's your sobriety level? How many t-shirts did you buy today?
I did not buy any t-shirts today.
Yeah, Your show's way better with t-shirts.
I almost bought a couple t-shirts the other day. You know what I'm saying? But I worked out yesterday and it was a struggle, and then that cancels out everything. So I was just I want them to count. I'm almost 36 years old. I want every one of these crunches to count. I want all of this, You got
to get this caloric intake has to go to the proper places.
All these lunges are excruciating, okay? Especially with no ACL. I want every bit of it to count.
I'm tired just hearing about it.
I know.
That's only the first third of my workout, my
Barf.
friend. But Crystalle, I appreciate you coming on the program today, but I more appreciate you watching the wrestling show that we'll be discussing today. Okay. But before we get there, what is your background, exposure to professional wrestling? What did you know about it before I asked you to do this podcast? Nothing. So you never saw it? You never penetrated your life in any way?
Penetration. It's an interesting word.
I feel
penetrated after watching it.
Well, TNA will do that to you.
Yeah. I actually wrote that.
Writes itself, guys.
I was TNA? What's this? Nada. I think I remembered vaguely. Woo!
You went on a roller coaster one time?
Yeah. Penetration.
Really?
You walked past a bar in Valentine one time?
You getting cat calls? You want to talk about it here? It's a good forum, I suppose.
So no concept, other than maybe seeing a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie? Not even that?
Do you know who The Rock is?
I do. I don't know that.
You've never seen Fast and Furious?
No.
Okay.
Why are you judging me?
I'm not judging you. Listen. I wish I could.
Because we're sponsored by Fast and the Furious movies.
Listen, I wish I could be in the same boat as you. I wish I have never seen any of them, but I've seen 2 of them, and it upsets me.
Saw the Tooth Fairy, and that shit was great.
I just so no ever any thoughts ever about pro wrestling.
Then you're perfect. Don't get us wrong. We're not making fun of you. You are the prime candidate.
Yeah, you're exactly. But I'm not trying to make fun of you. I usually somebody said at least somebody has said I've heard of the Undertaker before, but the fact that you've heard nothing, I it's very hard for me to meet anybody that's no, it's never affected my life. I've never been exposed to it.
I feel I vaguely heard of Junkyard Dog.
Holy shit!
There we go. That's the point.
The obscurity. That's the obscurity. No, you're correct.
No, that's what I want to know, because I want to know what from my sport penetrates. Because we try and
We're a lot of penetrating.
A lot of penetration. When you see
He hasn't even said yes. This
Where's
might
HR
not be.
of this podcast?
Yeah.
well,
Welcome to penetrating wrestling.
when you see a bunch of TNA, you just think about penetration.
Welcome to how did this get penetrated?
But no, because we in the professional wrestling business, we try and find people like you, get you interested in pro wrestling, and then hook you, because when the business is always at its best is when more mainstream fans know it exists. So I try and figure out somebody that's obviously doesn't watch on a regular basis, has no clue about it. What are the things that impact your life? What are the impressions that you pick up from probably just flipping through the channels that you see of it? Because I mean, the WWE especially has tried so hard to break into the mainstream and be something that's always, pops up on Google immediately, be on SNL and NBC and major networks and stuff like that. And the idea of being in movies and everything else. So the fact that Junkyard Dog is something that I know I could connect with.
I don't remember.
See over here?
Yeah, I'm looking at all the action figures.
No.
Oh. I don't think he's in that set right there.
You're a unicorn. Thank you.
Yeah. So Junkyard Dog is the only thing that's ever connected to you.
That sticks out to you about wrestling.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I don't even know where I heard about him.
Okay, that's fine. I
just remember.
Couldn't pick him out in Dead Guy lineup.
Well,
I probably could not.
Well, it's funny that you bring up Junkyard Dog. That's the first, one of my earliest memories ever is the Junkyard Dog's match. I can't figure it out if it's his match with Terry Funk or his match with Ted DiBiase. I remember my earliest memories of seeing is a Junkyard Dog match versus somebody in black trunks, which when I look up the footage, it's either Ted DiBiase or it's Terry Funk. I can't figure out if that's the match or whatever, but I just remember vividly Junkyard Dog entering my life and thinking pro wrestling's the coolest thing ever. Obviously, you didn't feel the same, but that's okay. But that's why you're on the podcast today, and I appreciate you and love you for it.
He wanted them cakes, and you were like, nah, no cakes.
I don't feel like grabbing cakes. Okay, no, thank you. No, thank you. It's over. But that's part of the reason why you're here. We basically take a non-wrestling fan and subject them to subpar professional wrestling.
We penetrate them with bad wrestling.
Yes. Normally, it's just the tip. When it comes to penetration, we don't necessarily give you the full 12 inches.
You went whole hog for Victory Road.
You went whole hog on a show that is almost nearly 3 hours long.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Is that the tip? Because
No.
The tip would be about 45 minutes.
Stick a nut
This is
in
a
there.
full 12. Okay.
This is Lexington Steel level shit. Trying to pop a testicle in there at the same time. It's real fucked up.
When you said Lexington Steel, I've been listening to a lot of James Bond podcasts, and I went to Remington Steel. I'm like, so you mean Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah.
You went full Pierce Brosnan on this.
That's even better. Who went full Pierce Brosnan with this wrestling pay-per-view?
But let's get into the particulars of the show because we have a long way to go, and we can't dick around anymore.
It's been another episode of How This Get Booked. Bye.
See, I'm on fire today. I took the 2 Alpha Brains today. I'm on fire. Didn't mess up the intro. We're ready to roll, and we're ready to get the particulars of this show. The show that we watched is Total Nonstop Action. Victory Road 2011. The show took place at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. The show took place on March 13th, 2011. March 13th is actually my birthday. Actually, there's somebody else whose birthday we'll get into.
I was about to say.
Matt Jackson's birthday as well. We share a birthday. It's so funny that one of the most over guys and the most under guys in professional wrestling share the same birthday. Attendance for the show was 1,100 people, according to Wikipedia. Of course, I think that's about what the Impact Zone holds. I imagine for their pay-per-view, they fill it up. And then this is the 7th Victory Road in the TNA lineup of Victory Roads. And the tagline for the show is, "Victory is reserved for those who are willing to pay the price."
What a hell of a tagline.
I know, right? And I feel like it should have been just something simple like Victory Road is for winners. That would be a great one. I'm just saying, TNA, if you're looking for a marketing director or Impact Wrestling or Global Force or whatever you're calling yourself these days.
It's not GFW anymore.
It's not GFW?
No, as of 2 or 3 days ago.
I don't fucking know. Maybe by the time this podcast, will be back to it. Okay?
WWE owns it now.
But the poster for the show that was on the cover of the DVD is a picture of Kurt Angle, who is not on the pay-per-view. So
why would he be?
That's whatever. And one of the promotional things at this time, we should give a footnote of what was going on in TNA that you didn't necessarily see on this pay-per-view, Crystalle, was this is about the time of the notorious 3-3-11 promos, which was basically a
Not the 3311.
Oh, the 3311.
That and Junkyard Dog are the two
Yep.
things she's exposed to.
Yeah. I remember that.
It was this pay-per-view because TNA was notorious for people jumping over from WWE, and this was going on just after the 2/21/11 promos that WWE ran.
Not to be confused with the 222.
3311.
Which everybody,
21.
Get your books out at home.
which everybody thought was a signal that Sting was coming to WWE. Was the 2/21/11 ones, but really it was the return of the Undertaker.
Yeah, for the police.
So then when. And that was the thing. Like,
Not the guy
like,
from the
what?
police. No.
No, yeah, different Sting. This thing that you actually saw wrestle, quote unquote, on this show.
Is that where the Scorpion came
Yes,
from?
the Scorpion. That's Sting.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it was.
Okay.
But in fact, the 3/3/11 promos was the return of Sting, and people were quite mad about that because they wanted Sting.
Have you seen this pay-per-view? Ain't nobody happy about shit.
No, and the thing is, I feel like part of the reason why this show gets lumped in as one of the worst is because people are very hard on TNA. Like, they were very... And the thing is, this 3/3/11 is like 10 days earlier, so they're already shitting all over TNA. Like, they didn't want Sting to come back because they wanted him to go to WWE because we all know that was fantastic when it happened.
Yeah.
But
Which ended up happening like 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah. So, like, they really hammered TNA on Twitter. And actually, I saw an entire 2 pages full.
In 2011?
In 2011.
Twitter was around?
Yes. Twitter was a big thing then. Of just people just hammering Dixie about just every name in the book in TNA about re-signing Sting. So because people really wanted Sting in TNA, and it basically kind of like WWE was probably going to sign with it.
It was down there.
So.
Yeah. It's still today. Everyone still is.
Yes.
I wrote down one of my notes. I said, "Why is everyone mad at Dixie Carter?"
Which is the most understated question ever. Get the sound clips ready, guys. We're gonna go fucking global with this episode.
I like how that's like the first thing you recognize out of the opening thing. Like you're like, at this moment in time, all you know is Junkyard Dog, and why is everybody mad at Dixie Carter?
Dixie Carter.
They just seem very
This lovely
mad.
lady. How could you be mad at her? For killing the wrestling business, sweetheart. That's why.
Like, if anything, if your message of a company is like, we just hate Dixie Carter. Like, and obviously that's what TNA was at this time. That's the one thing they wanted to get over. Not that they were innovating the business or doing anything different, or Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff are running it. No, we just hate Dixie Carter. That's their main message. Like Ring of Honor, honorable, like competition, and then evolving the business. No, TNA is all about just shitting on Dixie Carter.
TNA, fuck you, Dixie.
That would have been a better tagline.
Victory Road, go fuck yourself, Miss Carter.
And your money that's like keeping people afloat and giving them the dream of wrestling. Fuck her.
Yeah, right? Doing such good things here and there.
Funding a wrestling promotion that's falling on hard times.
So all you druggies can fucking have somewhere to work.
Ooh.
Yes, said he's not listening.
No, or all 12 of them
are
listening. But we started the show off with an intro video with Sting, a whole bunch of background, so I'm assuming that you're all caught up with Sting's career now, Crystal, after watching that intro video.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure. That was very dramatic.
It was very
opening.
dramatic. Very dramatic, and they led to him making that return and winning the belt from Jeff Hardy. And which I find is funny is that is the main event of this program, so you gave that match away for free on television, and now we're using it as the main event to buy a pay-per-view. It's almost like running a free show to advertise for your upcoming show in a town.
Yeah.
Which
with the same lineup and everything.
Pretty much. So that's kind of where we're at, but let's just tear into this card right away. We're already 15 minutes in, so we need to keep this moving.
It's been some gold, though.
Yeah, it's been some gold, but we got to keep this moving at a pretty fast clip if we want to get through this entire show. And we start off this show with match number 1, Bully Ray versus Tommy Dreamer, Falls Count Anywhere match. What are your thoughts on this match, Crystal?
My thoughts were, first of all, the pyrotechnics when they bring on the different matches remind me of 80s hair bands.
Okay.
I felt like they were trying to infuse that.
Okay.
In terms of Bully Ray, I asked, why is he carrying around a trash can and a stick? Is he concerned about the environment, or
Just picking up trash on the way to the ring.
is that
Well, it's
is that his shtick?
Ah! Guys. And she held up a stick here in the studio, so we're also getting prop comedy out there. But only if you watch us on the live Facebook feed
Well,
that we don't have yet.
let's table that idea.
Ah,
Because
God.
tables are actually his big thing.
Okay.
And actually, the finish of the match of Devon coming out and doing the 3D through the table, that's Devon and Bully Ray were actually partners. They were a part of the Dudley Boys Team 3D, and their thing was...
They're brothers.
They're brothers.
Oh,
From a different mother.
Mm.
Yeah. But that's why that finish, and that's why I liked it so much. It was a nice, cool little thing.
Yeah. No,
Because, I like that, but the tables, that was the big thing with that. But I gotta tell you what, the unsung hero of this whole match is the inflatable doll.
yeah. I'm going to say the unsung hero is the minion at the very beginning of the match.
I said.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the
Why
minion.
would you beat his ass with a minion?
He
It's
bumped
just
his
not-
ass off for that stuffed animal.
That is not fair to the minion.
Poor minion.
And,
Poor minion.
and Taz had no clue what a minion
Yeah.
was.
What is this shit?
None. Not a single idea.
Despicable him.
Yes. But I like how these guys that are super serious and probably tell kids all the time that they're making pro wrestling look like a
Fucking
joke,
killing it.
but they're bumping for stuffed animals and working in inflatable dolls and doing inside jokes on the promo. An inside joke between Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer is they call each other fat all the time. So when he called him a fat ass at the end of it, it was basically like saying, "Ha, big joke," if Zane always made jokes about me not having hair, and we were doing some promo in the ring, and take that, Baldy. It's kind of like wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah.
But before that, Bubba Ray back in the day was every bit of 320, 340, just flab.
Oh yeah, but this
Now
is
he's in a little bit better of a shape. He's on his way to being pretty fucking jacked.
Yeah,
at this point.
this is about the time before he's looking the best he's ever looked in his entire life. Probably.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your thoughts, Crystal? Let's make sure they're heard.
Your handwriting is so pretty.
Is it?
Yeah.
And a fabulous notebook as well.
Yeah.
I said he should not be wearing Yankees gear, and he should also not be disrespecting the best Van Halen album of all time. He had 5150.
Okay.
All right. Clearly, I'm focusing on the right things here.
Hair bands and Van Halen.
How dare you bring up 5150 when OU182 is still in existence? Okay.
Look, boys. Take off that Van Halen t-shirt for you jinx the band and they break up.
Yeah, right. I did comment about the blow-up doll. I said, "Isn't this a family event?"
No. TNA.
And then he body slams the blow-up doll too, and I just thought that was inappropriate.
That poor blow-up doll.
I felt bad for the blow-up doll.
I'm telling you, the unsung hero. Of this whole match.
maybe.
That and the minion.
Yep.
Stole
Those
the show.
guys could go on to be a good tag team.
Exactly.
I also wanted to know, what is the point of the ref?
Well,
And that was throughout any match.
This is a bit of the false count anywhere, no DQ. The ref's very just there to count to 3 or count a submission, and so I'm sure that's very confusing to you,
It was very.
especially when other matches just ignore the referee.
Yeah.
But this one in particular, just throw it out the window. Don't. This would be the one where it's okay to be like, yeah, he's useless.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but
I gathered that.
yeah. But I think this whole match works on all levels. I don't know how you feel.
For what it was and for the nostalgia that it would bring to this show, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know first match perfect, but it would have been a good palate cleanser somewhere later. After the X Division match and then this happened.
Oh yeah.
Good times.
Or if you put this as semi-main, I think that kind of brings up
gets people ready. Well, if the actual main event was an actual match, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He would definitely, but that it could set up a false stage for what the main event. But I like every bit of this.
Yeah.
This
it was a very good match.
This was great.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. But I think
it was campy when it should be, but it was also hard hitting. It was roundabout story. Came back full one package done. Here it is.
And Devon comes out with his kids. He's got some good looking kids.
Right. Why aren't they wrestlers?
Yeah. Why are they not at NXT right
Yeah.
now, making all kinds of money?
You mean the guy in the neck
Yeah.
brace
Yes.
and the one who had a concussion or something like
Yeah,
that?
like those two guys.
Yeah.
Devon's kids.
Sons.
Sons.
Yeah.
Real
Okay.
legit kids, right?
Yeah, I imagine so. I don't think.
Who knows? I mean, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't.
Might have gone from the same agency as the stunt grannies. I don't know. I don't know.
Stunt grannies. God damn it.
Yeah. But moving right along, anything else we have to say about this match? Okay, we go to a backstage segment where we have Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, and Winter backstage talking to Crystalle Ramey. Now, Crystalle, what are your thoughts on these ladies that you see before you as a woman?
Are they ladies? I didn't.
Are you a woman?
I mean, I'm not, but I just feel like they were either. I wasn't sure what was happening.
I don't think anybody knows what was going on. This is that weird Winter Angelina Love angle that I don't know if we were to believe that Angelina Love was hypnotized or a willing participant. But I think maybe the most confusing thing is I think this is the time where Crystalle Ramey was one of the most top paid people in the company.
Yeah.
Because
that dumb money.
Yeah, because the rationale was like, oh, she's part of television production, and we want to keep a consistency with our TV people, like our announcers and stuff like that. So she was getting paid probably more than all three of these women who go out there and wrestle and put their bodies on the line. She probably got paid more than everybody in match number 2.
To tell you a little bit about TNA, it's more of a ride on the Universal Studios tour than it is a wrestling company. It's like they would stand outside and like if you were just like at Universal Studios all day, they would give you free tickets to come inside and you would go inside to get some AC because it's hot. And that's what a lot of those crowds are.
Exactly, yeah. Very much like that. Yeah, very much like that.
So like you'll have the people that actually know what the fuck's going on, but then you'll just have a bunch of people that are just cheering because there's AC.
Yeah. It's almost, there's some people that see it as Indiana Jones stunt show.
Yeah.
And then there's another group of people that go to this just so they can trash it on Twitter and Facebook and look cool.
Yeah, and those guys they call fans.
Yes, exactly.
Those pieces of shit are the fans.
Exactly. That's the weird amalgamation. Like a lot of people we know work for TNA or Global Force, whoever, and they're getting opportunities to live their dreams of being a professional wrestler, being that they are paid and their main source of income is TNA wrestling. But at the same time, too, fans like to shit on that and wish it would just burn to the ground, even though if they closed, there'd be less people working and less people making money off professional wrestling.
And then they wouldn't have as much to bitch about. So,
exactly.
So what's the difference between WWE and TNA?
Just different companies, different strokes.
10,000 people per show.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is the WWE, like, if they had 1,100 people at a show, it would be the most colossal failure that they've had in the last decade, probably. Like,
because that's
it'd
not
it'd be like your
number?
They run basically. Here's a better analogy. WWE, when they come to town, even for a house show, non-televised, they're gonna run Time Warner. Is it still Time Warner?
Spectrum.
The Spectrum Arena. They're gonna run that downtown. That no matter where they're gonna go.
Okay.
There. TNA, they're gonna go to Cabarrus Arena.
Okay.
That kind of gives you a gist of that. WWE is Kevin Hart.
Thank you.
TNA is probably Doug Stanhope. That would be maybe a little bit better of an analogy.
Okay.
He's going to take whatever room he wants, but he's want to keep his own money and keep costs down. But Doug Stanhope's going to demand more respect than probably TNA will.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Like Doug Stanhope's going to bite back when you criticize him on Twitter, where TNA will just kind of take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
It'll be your major league teams versus your like high school basketball team. Kind of
Got
thing.
it. Okay.
Yeah. But let's get to match number 2, since we're talking about the women, right? We have Rosita and Sarita.
You know, really running out of ideas for girls' names here in the Hispanic community.
Versus Winter and Angelina Love. And I like how, like, Sarita talks about how Rosita is her cousin, which is not true.
And almost racist.
Okay. It's coming from her position. I think she's allowed to do what she wants. Yeah. But anyways,
she can say it, we can't.
Rosita is actually Sarah Stock. She's actually a world traveler in the sense that she's wrestled for AAA, CMLL, Japan, and she's actually a current trainer at WWE at the Performance Center. But yeah, Sarah Stock, Dark Angel, world renowned. I mean, she was considered one of the best female wrestlers in the world. So when I read on her Wikipedia page, she's the current trainer at WWE. I was like, oh, good for her.
Yeah, makes sense.
she paid her dues. She was Canadian, and the Canadian pipeline that sends you straight to Mexico.
Yeah.
And Japan and stuff like that. She was infiltrated in that, and she's had some really good matches and considered one of the best female wrestlers on the planet. So this is like really kind of her only run on television whatsoever. But obviously no Spanish because she spent so much time down there. But we need to talk about Taz's commentary on the way to the ring.
Oh.
It got I love how even him and Mike Tenay as well, very dirty old manish. But when the bell rings, they're fine.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. You can pick up like dirty old men during the entire intro, which
Oh shit, this is on? Textbook collar double lockup.
Which I'm sure Taz would say they're asking for it in the intro because of the way Angelina Love is getting in the ring.
Dirty.
But but once the match starts, it's fine, and they just normalize and they call it like a regular match. Where like back in 1997 WWE, Jerry Lawler would still be talking about puppies.
Yeah.
But Crystalle, as a woman, what are your thoughts on just this whole display?
Soiree.
I said nagging in Spanish is just as annoying in any other language. And I said porn has better acting than this.
Okay.
What else? Oh, the commentary. I think he said something about the way she straddled the rope on the way in the ring. And I was like, wow, that doesn't ruin your athletic credibility at all.
But I talked about athletes when the bell rung, Crystalle.
And what cracked me up is during the match. You call it a match?
Yeah, it's match.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that'll work. You can call it whatever you want.
He said something. I don't know which one. The one with the New York accent, I think.
Yeah, Taz.
He was like, "Well, that's a strange bird. I mean, pigeon." I'm like, that's
Still a bird.
It's not better either.
You didn't turn into Barack Obama by fixing that.
No, it's not better at all.
Strange bird. I mean, slut. I mean, goddamn it.
I mean, chicken head. God damn it.
I gotta go.
Is this thing on?
But he did. That was something he used to say. Let the pigeons loose when they would
Is that his puppy?
That was his puppies.
So is pigeon a vagina in this case then? I'm not sure about.
I don't even think he knows. I don't think he knows. But I think we should make mention of this. It only happened for a few short seconds because I want to believe that the fans realized how dumb this was. I want to believe that they realized how dumb this was. But there were a few seconds in this match, not too long after the promo, where the fans were chanting USA, USA, USA. Now, let me say this. Winter is German.
Yep.
Angelina Love, Canadian.
Yep.
Sarita, who I imagine those USA chants are directed to, also Canadian. Rosita, though, USA.
Whoa!
So,
wait, the one with the most Spanish name?
Yes.
The only American.
The only American. So
just want to remind everybody. So everybody, it's USA.
I think that's the biggest, because that is a common thing of wrestling fans just chanting USA for a Canadian in the ring. Like, that's happened many a times. Like, Bret Hart would be wrestling Yokozuna. And
Canadian and a Samoan.
Yes, from somebody from Samoa, America taking on a Canadian, but yet the fans are chanting USA. There's many examples of that. But I think this match has to be the most ironic, ludicrous USA chant for non-USA people ever.
If you need a barometer as to where we lie, this is the one.
This is the one. It has to do better than this one. So.
I also took note that there was like a British flag hanging in the
front row. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
As they're chanting USA, so I just thought.
Well, this would be a pay-per-view, and since you can get into it, like I'm sure somebody from the UK came, because actually TNA.
This would have been like Explosion Times too, wasn't it? Like that was their England show.
Like England, like the UK very much supported TNA because they were just very happy to get American wrestling and. Like,
it's still big there.
Yeah, it's still big. It's still big. Like when TNA is in a bit of trouble, they just go over and do a UK tour.
Yeah.
They make all kinds of money.
Yeah.
So it's always a good go-to for them.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say about this finish. What did you think of it, Crystalle?
The finish is
the end of
where
this
someone
match.
wins.
I said, how did they lose?
We're all losers here
I
today,
didn't
guys. Don't worry.
understand how they lost, and I said, and what's wrong with Velvet? She seemed very upset.
That's a good question. Zane, as somebody with a trained eye, what do you think?
What are you trying to say?
Are we just not are we just not even trying, guys?
Yeah, because
are you done? Are you just done? Like you're just like, you know what? I'm done.
yeah,
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I felt like what could have helped this whole finish, like, I feel like this whole pay-per-view, there were a lot of examples of some very creative finishes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them came off, as a thing, like, oh, okay, that was interesting, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And there's other ones where, like, ooh, you really were
Just
swinging.
phone that one in, eh?
Yeah, you phoned that in, and you're swinging for the fences, and you really missed. Like, there's a bunch of examples of them being very creative and almost too creative for any sense of it. And I think this would have been fine, but I feel like a good run-through a couple of times with an agent probably could have worked all of this out. Like, I feel like if you walk through this full speed, this could have worked.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did that.
No, it's like, we'll get it at the end. They'll get it.
Yeah. I don't think... Like, I appreciate them trying. Yeah. Because I always appreciate anybody being creative. And... but there was just so much going on that I feel like you could have done far less.
So convoluted.
Yeah, so I don't want to penalize them for being creative, but I do want to penalize them for maybe not practicing.
Well, there was a lot of matches on this show specifically where, like, all the build-up is fantastic, and then the end is just like, and I'm done.
Yeah.
It's hot, I'm sweaty, I'm done.
Yeah. But I wish they would have said that, 5 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier.
Again, with almost every fucking match.
Yeah.
Everyone going 20 fucking minutes.
I think that's the thing, too, is, like, I think TNA's probably thinking, like, we'll be more creative, and we'll just give them more wrestling.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you're spending all that time wrestling, giving all the, like, build-up. It's just, you could have done that in 10 minutes, man. Would have been just as happy.
Anything else to say about this match?
No.
Because before we want to get to these fabulous
It could have
clips.
been worse, but, like, it could have been like the next couple matches.
Yeah. But before we get there, we get to the Jarrett's honeymoon clips.
Do you feel that women were properly portrayed in wrestling?
No.
No, fuck this.
Which actually TNA's knockout division was, very stellar and progressive at this time, but I think most people see this as probably a rough patch in that history.
Yeah.
I would say. But, I mean, you just got rid of Soulja Bolt a few years earlier, so I'm going to penalize you for that.
Yep. But now she's here paying your rent, so you're paying your mortgage, so it's okay.
Exactly. If you had Soulja Bolt on this, I would have probably been much more happier with the way the women were portrayed on here. So,
Soulja Bolt is his girlfriend.
That's Josie. So I will stand by that since you didn't put Soulja Bolt on here. Knock against you, and for shame the way that you treated women.
A wag of the finger.
A wag of the finger. But we do get to the honeymoon clips, which we will see throughout.
So weird.
Maybe we'll get to that when we get to the culmination. We get to a Matt Morgan promo, which is...
it's Matt Morgan.
Happens.
He's got a dick on his chest.
Yeah, he does. Which leads into match number 3, Hernandez versus Matt Morgan in a first blood match. Crystal, what are your thoughts on this match? You haven't seen really a regular match since we've started this thing.
And you're still not gonna.
And you still probably won't for quite some time.
No, not this show.
Not this show.
Well, can I just talk about the interview for a minute?
Yeah, by all means.
Okay, so is his nickname the Blueprint?
Yes.
Which is the work of an architect, right? But when he had his interview, I felt like there was a big time delay from his brain to his mouth.
That's about right.
Yeah, and then I said he probably needs a helmet, and does he have an underbite? Does he have a really bad underbite?
Like a bulldog? A little bulldog.
I just said you can't trust a man with an underbite.
Agreed.
And then I said even my Fitbit told me to turn this crap off.
Hey, man, you got like some steps you need to get in. Please get the fuck out.
You need to move now.
Do something. Does he call him Sean a lot in this promo? Like he calls Hernandez Sean?
Yeah, I think he does.
Come on, Sean.
Come on, Sean.
I think I got confused because it was Hernandez, right?
Yeah.
And then first blood, so they literally have to inflict harm, and
Until someone bleeds.
that's fun, isn't it?
I mean, arguably, but
Yeah.
not the way they do it.
Oh, not the way they do it.
No.
But let me fill in a little blanks for you, much like there's blanks in Matt
There's
Morgan.
a lot of blanks.
Much like there's
Just a whole blank page right now. Just you want to write stuff here?
much like there are blanks in Matt Morgan's DNA,
Yes.
which leads me into why he is called the Blueprints, because a video game developer and private astronaut.
Wait a minute.
What is a private astronaut?
Like he builds his own spaceships in an attempt to take himself to the moon?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Really?
Not Matt Morgan.
No, like, but,
Oh,
like
I'm like, no, he's not that smart.
yeah.
But I'm saying that this video game developer and private astronaut basically took Matt Morgan's DNA because he feels like he is the perfect human specimen and shot his DNA into space in hopes that aliens or whoever's out there will find that, or us as humans will live on through him. Like it'll
Somehow that DNA will make it to a planet and begin the evolutionary process.
a la Prometheus.
Fantastic.
So
I'm going to go ahead and go home. You guys.
human life as we know it is getting passed on
It's gonna be a bunch
by
of
this
underbites.
man right
A
here.
bunch of underbites. And we're going to be a bunch of Matt Morgans and Matt Morgans with vaginas.
And see, the thing is, they say a DNA. They say a DNA sample. So I don't know if he just like jizzed.
Yeah.
Like his
Well, yeah.
jizz got shot into space. Like I don't.
Well, we were going to take your blood, but we don't have that type of insurance. Will you jerk off in this cup?
Yeah, like
This is weird, but okay.
like how do you feel about humanity now, Crystal? Like,
I don't feel good
How do you
about
feel
it.
about the future? That's where it's at.
I don't feel good about it.
We're gonna
I
find
need to go buy
intelligent
some
life.
T-shirts.
We get a whole shit ton of t-shirts real fast.
T-shirts.
well, I don't.
I'm
think,
real clothed right now.
I'm going to stick with the fact that it is jizz because I don't think Matt Morgan is willing to give up any blood because of what happened in this
Yeah,
match.
there we
Oh.
go. Guys, full circle.
Call back.
We do it all the time.
Yes, let's talk about this finish of the match where they pull out a chain. But before we get to that, a fan, quote unquote,
Yeah, stunt fan,
rushed the ring, which they played it off as if it was a real fan rushed the ring, and the referee had to get taken away, which I felt like was very creative.
Yeah.
And the idea of like the referee would be there, but he got hit in the scuffle. And then to me, I felt like should have happened is the spray of the blood. Today's referee comes in, sees the blood, glimpsing, ring the bell,
Yeah.
and that's it. As opposed to a fresh referee who
Yeah.
theoretically could be watching a monitor while this is
How do you
going
know how
on.
to go out then?
And how does he know how to go out? Where I feel like the day's referee should be the one
Yeah.
that makes the call.
Yeah. Was it
Where-
Slick Johnson? Did he?
No,
Slick's like, I can't look weak out there, man.
No, it was Brian Hebner,
No.
who I feel like
Be Hibbs.
I feel like if that would have happened, I have less of a disagreement with this. But I think there's a lot going on with this. What are your thoughts on it,
His
Crystal?
slide into the ring, re-entering the ring after that scuffle was awesome.
Well, you gotta think. I mean, they only have X amount of moves that a referee can do, and a
he
real
was like-
dominant slide is
I thought that was awesome.
power slide,
Yes.
just in and right back out.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, too hard.
That would have been
Got him
better.
every time with
If he just
the. Got him with
overshot.
the. Oh shit! And then he's knocked silly, and then he sees it. He's like, wait, that could be.
Like as he's sliding in,
Yeah.
he's sliding, ring, ring, ring.
And then right back out.
That would have been even better.
Yep.
I can't remember if it,
And then the let's all go to the lobby like screenshot pops up because that referee's now dead. Start our own wrestling company, guys.
let's
doing later.
let's do that. But Crystal, any more thoughts about this match before we move on?
Or thoughts about Matt Morgan Seaman.
Yes.
I would prefer not.
So if we're gonna get penetrated, we go back to penetration.
that would not be
Is
the one.
Matt Morgan the one?
No.
Okay.
See, there was also I remember TNA at this time airing like a faux press conference about his jizz being blown into space, and I just remember
Wow.
I couldn't. I was like, why? It's his jizz, right? It's in his face. Like
We're talking about cum, right, guys?
we're talking about his cum being shot into space, like the biggest money shot of all time.
This shit is astronomical.
Just move over, Pierce Brosnan.
Get out of here, Remington Steele. Let's just go ahead and call it. Like, I mean, it's not going to get better.
What do you mean? The show doesn't get any better?
No.
We've made this show better than the original
We
already.
did.
The remake is going to be fantastic. While you're at it, go see the new It movie.
Okay, if we got nothing more to discuss, we need to move on to the promos right before the Ultimate X match, because they need to run a whole bunch of them so they can set up Ultimate X, which God bless those guys.
So they can go for goddamn ever.
We have the Young Bucks promo, which is where Matt Jackson relays that it is his birthday.
Yeah.
He is actually 3 years younger than me.
Suck it.
I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans wish the Young Bucks did this podcast, but I feel like we're hitting it out of the park right now. So
I'll be your Nick.
The gauntlet has been thrown down, Young Bucks.
The gullet has been thrown.
Yes, gauntlet.
All of them. All the G's.
All the
them.
G's.
Our semen's been sent to space.
And we're winning, just like Kazarian said in his promo.
Which I did not remember that being like time for time. Was that did all that shit happen in 2011?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like these, like Kazarian's promo and then Robbie E's existence,
Yeah.
all very 2011.
Because you could have said like winning, and I would have been like, oh yeah, that shit was over in 2014, and I'd have been 3 years late thinking about it.
Yeah, winning and like Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
This is a time capsule for 2011.
Let's shoot that in space too.
Oh, Robbie E would love to have his jizz in space. I'll tell you that much. He'd be like, "Here's a rag."
Here you go.
Like, just
I came prepared.
I came prepared. I've got all kinds. I got some more in Cookie's bag too. I just want to know.
Cookie.
Oh, but by the way, just to let you guys know,
In case you're curious.
in case you're curious, before the Ultimate X match happens, we still have 2 more hours to go.
Jesus.
On this.
Well, don't worry. This match is going to try to take up a third of it.
Just so you know, at this moment in time, you have 2 more hours of wrestling to go.
And only like 4 or 5 matches.
Not even. This is going to be match number 4.
We're going to go talk to the Jarrett some more.
Ultimate X, Kazarian versus Jeremy Buck versus Max Buck versus Robbie E. What are your thoughts on this, Crystalle, being now the 4th match that you've seen that isn't really a traditional professional wrestling match?
But all the crazy fucking shit that's about to happen.
Yeah, like what are your thoughts on seeing all this?
Kill me now.
Good.
Okay, well, I think the participants in this match really tried to do that themselves. So
I said, is Kazarian trying to be Steven Seagal?
Quite possibly.
possibly.
And then I caught on to the Jersey Shore knockoff.
Okay. All right.
And then I wrote, I'm slowly dying.
Okay.
It just trails off into nothing.
Yeah. That's really what I wrote. I said Cookie's not going to have a voice after this match. and we'll all be grateful. Because the whole time all this is happening, she's like, ah!
And I'm sure her career would be, because I'm sure she's a heat magnet at this time.
Yeah. Is she even around anymore? Not as Cookie, but like just in general.
I saw her tweet something not long ago. I don't know. I haven't heard from her in a while. Don't say her name 3 times.
She'll
Okay?
pop up. Oh, God damn it.
But yeah, every time I see Robbie, I just think like, gosh, can't just the head of the Boy Scouts just get in some weird sex scandal so that way like Global Force can hire me? You know, like I just... Come on, like he just really cashed in on just looking like that guy,
looking like a douchebag.
That's what I wrote.
He is still employed with them to this day.
Yeah.
So
I found him to be very annoying.
Yeah.
you know what? Nice guy. Wrestled not too long ago, and
super cool.
he much like myself has scraped every possible penny out of professional wrestling. He is one person that will not leave money on the table in professional wrestling, and you gotta respect that.
Oh, yeah.
I do respect that.
And he's really smart, actually. It's weird. It's really weird. Like that he's like I've done some of his like I've been to some of the shows that he's had seminars at, and I'll kind of listen. Smart fucking guy. Good for him for finding an angle and fucking milking it.
And hanging on to it for dear
Yeah,
life.
still doing it. Still the exact same gimmick.
Oh, yeah. I just wrestled him not long ago, and, like...
Spraying the hair, pumping the fist.
Yeah. put the match together in 5 minutes, easy, barely broke a sweat.
Yeah.
Crowd loved it, or at least that crowd did. I think people on the internet probably hated it.
Of course.
Probably said
Hashtag fuck Dixie.
Yeah, hashtag fucks Dixie, hashtag dud, hashtag 1 star at best. So, or
no rating,
or decent opener. I don't know.
Whatever.
That's usually my review. It's 2-word reviews. Decent opener.
Yeah.
That's the story of my career. I will say this match made my knees hurt.
Oh God!
And also too, I have way too much shoulder damage ever to be in this match.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I could even.
I'm not hanging from that.
No, there's no way I could just them hanging on to it. Was the most impressive thing to me.
Yeah.
And
then to fall into moves from those things.
Yeah. The craziness good. I think the Observer rated this like 9 out of 10. For the show, because they gave every match on the show like a out of 10 rating, and I think they put this like a 9 out of 10, and I think the AJ and Matt Hardy was a 7 out of 10, or this match was a 7 out of 10, and
I must say, because I think that
excuse me, it was the reverse of that. This match got a 7 out of 10. Hardy and AJ got a 9 out of 10.
I see that,
and we'll get to that in a little bit. But anything more about Ultimate X before we move on?
Fucking Christ!
Yep. Is that the Generation Me's were on that? They were all fighting for it, and that was the cross ropes and the belt hanging. Mm-hmm. Thought the proverbial carrot interesting, and also having the Generation Me's fight for the belt. I thought, oh, that's clever. Me.
Those guys today are the 2 of the biggest wrestlers in the world as far as popularity. Their T-shirts just started being sold at Hot Topics.
Huh.
Yeah.
And they're not employed
like real T-shirts.
Yeah, like and they're not just standing outside of a Hot Topic. Like, hey, you guys want some T-shirts?
Not a random one. No, they're
not like I do. Not like me. Yeah.
But they're not employed by WWE. They're independent. They make their own money, and they are selling a lot of T-shirts as opposed to buying a lot of T-shirts like we do on a regular basis. So they're doing quite well for themselves. Yep. We see more footage of the Jarrett's honeymoon. We'll get to that probably in the culmination of that, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. We just don't bring it up. We get to Beer Money with Crystalle Ramey, which starts off with a sexual assault, but then ends with said, no, let's talk about respect. Yeah. So it turned into very school assembly skit there for a second there.
What not to do, guys. Ready and scene.
Yeah, it was basically one of those things like they do with these, and I'm drinking, and then, kids, let me talk to you why this was wrong. And that's kind of how this promo was like an after-school special or an assembly skit where they're like, hold on, this is what's wrong. And this is what I mean about respect. You don't disrespect somebody who you care about. What the fuck? That's kind of what I felt.
But fuck this bird, right, guys?
Yeah.
I mean pigeon.
Yeah. I mean slut. God damn it.
Chicken head. I don't know.
We gotta go. Let's go win a match.
I did say, who are these 2 douchebags? What the hell are they wearing?
They're top.
And they're kind of rapey.
They're very kind of.
Yeah, very.
Very rapey.
I was like, tag team champions of what?
Eiffel Towering, bitches. What's up?
Chris is like, holler.
Put a bitch on a spick. What's up?
She's like, I got some beer money.
Yeah. I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
I'm sure they dig that.
I'm sure James Storm does that on a daily basis.
It's cool, man. Fuck it. So this, not like right in 2011, maybe a little bit right after. I like TNA more than WWE at that time.
Okay.
And Beer Money was my absolute favorite tag team ever.
Okay.
They were fucking fantastic.
They work well together. Like I like every bit of this tag match, and it has some people in there I really like.
Rich Boy and Blue Collar Southern Boy being a tag team.
Yeah, because they were just kind of thrown together because like James Storm was a part of America's Most Wanted, and Chris Harris went off to WWE because he thought it was a better decision, and everybody thought James was going to flounder. And then Bobby Roode was exiled from Team Canada, so they were just kind of knocking around, and then they came together, and it turns out they became the best tag team that TNA ever had.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Bobby Roode, more recent than not, got signed to WWE. He's there now.
He's on their main roster, I think on SmackDown right now.
Is he on SmackDown? Yep, SmackDown. Yep.
He's on SmackDown right now. Also, too, it's good to see Shannon Moore. He disappeared for a while, and then he popped back. I mean, I like Shannon. I go way back with Shannon. And then Jesse Neal
Is that Ink?
Ink.
Yeah.
Jesse Neal's story interests me a little bit.
But what they did with him after the story culminated is real fucking odd.
Yeah.
Like where he went from, was he Marine or?
Yeah, he was in the U.S. Navy. I got actually all the particulars. He was he served in the U.S. Navy.
Get your notebook ready.
Bated breath.
Yeah, he served in the U.S. Navy. He was on the USS Cole, which was attacked by a suicide bomb in 2000, and he actually lost some of his shipmates and caused him to have PTSD. And then he went into professional wrestling, and he debuted in wrestling in 2007, and then he started training with the Dudley Boys. He made his TNA debut in 2009, and then he was shortly released from TNA. I believe he had a job for like 6 years. I think he went all the way. It was quite a. Actually, no, he had like a 6-year run. Excuse me. No, it says he retired in August of 2015. He was supposed to come back actually this year, but he actually broke his ankle. He was married to Christy Vanieri, and then that divorced, and then he got married to Brittany Savage. He now has a child with her, so he's gone through 2 female wrestlers.
The creme de la creme of
later
wrestlers.
But the thing is, like, he served in the U.S. Navy. He appeared on pay-per-views and for a national television company. Married, has a kid now. Yeah. So it just, but every time I've been around him, he's always been very good brothery, which sometimes gets on my nerves a little bit. But at the same time, too, like, he's done a lot
for the country, so fuck it, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, but like, he's lived a full life.
Yeah.
Like, I hope, like, he might have something else that he'll do. Like, who knows? He might open up a chain of, I don't fucking know, some sort of store or gym or
a thing with stuff and goods are sold.
He might come up with a new version of PWX, P90X, and gets all the rage, and then he's got another run of something else, and he makes $1 million. I feel like there's, or it's like a chain of juice bars or something.
Steroids, not like
it's steroids.
Steroid juice, not like orange juice.
As soon as President Trump makes steroids legal, which we know he will,
it's gonna be huge.
Jesse Neal's going to get it on the ground floor.
Huge.
So
we have the best steroids in America, all right?
Yes,
the best.
Exactly. Still can't get weed in North Carolina, though. But we can get steroids in all 50 states. So, and Jesse Neal's
What's the weird story, though, that you were going to tell about them?
Well, he starts off as like this Navy, a seaman, and so like he's that, just Jack Meathead, oorah kind of guy, and then now he's covered in tattoos, and with another guy covered in tattoos, and just kind of the night and day shift of the character is just real odd.
Well, I feel like they almost like Shannon was coming into the company.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Was like we still need.
He was. That's the thing too. It's very weird. Like he was on TV, and I felt like he was almost like too green to be on TV, but he handled it the best he could.
Yeah.
But I definitely know he blasted the company publicly for not paying him enough or skipping checks. There was a pay issue, and he was very public about it, which is part of the reason why he was kind of pushed out the back door. And
companies frown upon that.
Yes, they don't like it when you talk trash about them publicly like that,
regardless if they pay you or not.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether you're right or not is irrelevant.
Yeah. So but yeah, I always found that he's always been an enigma to me. I could never get a beat on whether or not like he was a likable individual, but he's lived an interesting life for sure.
Yeah.
So, but as far as this match goes,
it happens.
It happened. Like that's the thing. Like after everything was kind of seen, like it just kind of happens. And it's okay.
The one match that could be considered normal.
It's this.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it. Although the Jesse Neal's mohawk was very distracting with the blonde.
Yeah.
Like he was wearing like a mohawk wig type
It was
thing.
weird.
Yeah. Like
I had to stop and pause it for a minute. I was like, what
He looked. Know what he looked like? He looked like Dan Aykroyd from the movie Dragnet.
From Dragnet, yeah.
Yes, like that's I couldn't get past
in the wool chaps, and he's like fighting the snake.
Yeah. Where Tom Hanks looked like you right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God, I'm going to see that movie again. That's one of my favorite movies.
Pep Streebek.
Yeah. Talk to Mother Streebek.
But anything else we have to say about this tag match, Crystalle?
No.
Okay.
The good days of Dilly Gaff.
We will move right along to a Ric Flair promo with Matt Hardy. Crystalle, this is what all the wooing is about.
I had to look him up.
Okay.
Because I was like, I think that's the woo guy. Mm-hmm. And then I remembered he used to wear, like, feather boas.
Big feather robes, yeah.
Feather robes, yes.
Oh, robes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Feathers were correct. You're
that's,
good enough.
that's not.
Yeah, you
that's less gay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but what people say would be very gay is all the dick grabbing that's going on.
Man!
There's a lot.
So much goozle.
You know what I have to say?
What?
The goozle.
Match number 6, AJ Styles taking on Matt Hardy. I see why this is 9 out of 10 because the dick grabbing in this alone is
it's 3 stars right there.
That makes this 5 stars. Okay, and then I like Taz's line of saying it's a 5-on-2 situation. That
that works.
Technically 5-on-3. It depends if you count the Franks and the Beans all together, But we
how do you get the beans by the Franks?
Yeah. So
does that hurt when you guys do that in the ring? It has to hurt.
I mean, I don't really. What are we asking about?
Well,
are you asking to we legit grab each other's dicks or like?
Like, do you? Is my first.
Only
question.
when it's funny.
It all depends on how hard you grab. It obviously feels weird.
Yeah.
If you're curious about that.
Yeah.
Do you stage it like you know it's coming, or?
I was actually the point like was it the flare? Did they do a flare toss? Was that the deal? Yeah. Or like at least in the area, like he was up on the ropes and he stopped him. It's even called like the Ric Flair spot, where like they would go up top and they would grab and then kind of chuck them off.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's kind of coming. You just call it that way. Mm-hmm. And usually when you do that, it's more like putting the hand here rather than. Now, if you're just trying to fuck with the guy, which I'll do a lot.
Well, in Ultimate Warrior, when you like press slam guys, and it'd be that same type of press, like sometimes you'd just have a full handful of your dick.
Yeah.
And of course he was all like jacked up and like, and he might be squeezing a little too hard. So like the fall wouldn't hurt.
Pump it down.
Yeah, like I remember that's what George used to say is when the Ultimate Warrior would pick you up, he'd give you a full goozle and then he'd squeeze a little too hard while you're up there, and you'd just be begging for him to just drop you like a sack of potatoes.
Fascinating.
But yeah, but then there's Joey Ryan who flips people with his dick.
Yeah,
and
he's on ESPN, so they fuck us.
And I've hung on to his dick for like an entire time for you to talk for 5 minutes one time.
Me too. So. Yeah, I've been a hold of that dick.
Yeah,
touch that dick.
Yeah, that's a famous dick.
Or it's not gay. It's pro wrestling. So we're always that's what you talk.
And even if it was gay, it doesn't matter.
You're 17. Fucking grab every dick you want. Who cares?
I don't mind it. I didn't mind it.
As long as it's a consensual dick, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's far. I'm sure.
It's called a goozle.
Yeah, well, just it's more of a term. Like, goozle's like a verb.
Yeah, because
let's get the grammar right.
Yeah,
we're talking about grabbing dicks. All right,
we're not talking about proper nouns. Like, come on now. You're not gonna see this a capital G anywhere.
like me grabbing your arm, your elbow pit. Like that's goozling, and I go just kind of squeeze that. That'd be kind of goozling. You know what I'm saying?
So it's not specific to dick.
No, you can goozle anybody anywhere as long as it's consensual. So
everybody can get goozled, guys.
Yeah, like consensual goozles. Okay, to anybody in there.
Unless you're beer money, then apparently.
Then it's just kind of weird. But then there's also a lesson at the end of it. When
right,
you're
as long as there's a lesson at the end.
Look,
it's okay.
we kind of day raped her just so we could tell you this.
Just so we can tell you
this
about
wasn't
respect.
cool.
Just so we can tell you about respect.
Yeah. I killed this bitch to tell you guys killing ain't cool. Beer, money.
But about this match with AJ and Matt, great 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I get it.
Great.
Could be a little bit more dick spots, but fuck me. It's 2011.
Well, us discussing dick spots longer than this match went on, I think proves that there's not enough dick spots in it.
2011, real dick spots aren't going to get real hot till about 2016, 2017.
Yeah, once again, Flair ahead of the curve.
Yep, he was doing that shit in the 80s.
Yeah, he was doing dick spots way earlier.
Yeah.
But let it be known that after this AJ Styles Matt Hardy match, there's 45 minutes to go in this pay-per-view.
Yarp.
So we gotta
fasten your goddamn seatbelts. This is just getting started.
Yes. More Jarrett honeymoon stuff.
They lose their kids.
They lose their kids at this time.
That's probably better for the kids.
That tracks. That tracks with what their regular life is like.
Lucky kid.
We go to Ken Anderson interview, and I think he was going for a double entendre when he said assholes finish first.
I didn't get that.
Is that a comment about anal sex? Of
course, if your butthole's finishing during anal sex, then Ugh.
Wow.
You have to get poo on your dick. No. Don't be any poo on your dick. Mr. Anderson.
Assholes.
Wasn't he trying to convey, like, but if you're a douchebag, that's all right. If you're an asshole, assholes finish. I was like, what is happening?
It's good. So you can break that down for us with a whiteboard, please? Just, for what we have here, first off, you got an asshole. That's an asshole.
I feel like that would have helped explain it, because I was lost.
I mean, he had all that time. He had 45 minutes. He could have talked about this.
Yeah.
He could have broken it down better.
I could just feel like, the production assistant's going, oh fuck, we had to get a whiteboard for Scott Steiner doing math, and now we got to get a whiteboard down here to explain Ken Anderson.
We got a Steiner over here, guys.
But then they put in a hype video, and then they have Ken Anderson talk again.
Yeah.
And then we have a match. And I forgot that this was the era Rob Van Dam had that fantastic entrance song. Rob Van Dam! Whole fucking show!
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam! Because let me tell you about this band. They debuted that song at Wrestle Reunion, PWG's Super Show for Wrestle Reunion. He had this band play live because he was the main event. And that band was so obnoxious and hard to deal with to get a sound check. They did a sound check that was almost longer than the entire PWG show beforehand. And they were just a nightmare to deal with to get the sound guy right. So then when Rob Van Dam comes up for the main event, you're like, okay, these guys have given us a headache all night long, and they're just going to play this entrance song. Let's see. And you're expecting fucking Metallica, Fade to Black, Led Zeppelin, something fucking tremendous. If you're going to be that nitpicky of how the sound of everything is going to be, you're expecting that, and what do we get? Rob Van Dam! Whole fucking show! I was just like, I lost my mind. I'm like, we fucking bent over backwards for this fucking shit? Like, we could have got a fucking Mr. Microphone, and it would have sounded all the fucking same. Fuck you guys.
I could have played a goddamn... Look, give me that guitar. Rob Van Dam! Whole fucking show.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
But this match was a little rough.
Yeah, and I love Mr. Anderson.
I do too. He was one of the few people that were cool to me when I did WWE Extra Talent work. Like, he was one of the few, especially during a time when everybody went out of their way of being an asshole. Mm-hmm. He went out of his way to be nice. So I don't want to point out too much of the obvious that the internet's already pointed out. Obviously, this match, I did. After one of the spots he did kind of flub, you could hear him audibly say, "God damn it!"
That guy's a no. I love that he tries to go for the good Jerry Lynn RVD open, and it just doesn't really work.
His strength is just talking, and he's even said his strength is he's a punch kick guy. I'm a punch kick guy. Feel for him. All right, and also too, I think Rob Van Dam would be kind of off timing wise and weird to wrestle sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I think you have to be
especially in TNA times.
I think you have to be extremely technically proficient to wrestle someone like him. I don't think anybody can really pull a really great match out of him at this particular time right here. And also too, I don't think he really wants to meet you in the middle a whole lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's not going to come down to you. You got to.
And back to the PWG show, I remember him looking right at Chris Hero and Roderick Strong and saying to them, to their face, he goes, "Hey, if this match is bad, it's not going to be my fault." And this is what, coming from a guy who hadn't been wrestling in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So...
You sure it's not? Because I feel like it might.
Yeah. But they pulled it off and it was fine. This didn't necessarily go that way. But ended in a double count out, which leads us to the hype for the match. Hype that lasted longer than the match. This is a match they just saw 10 days prior. We see Jeff Hardy promo, Sting video again, and get us to our main event, match number 8, Jeff Hardy taking on Sting. You see Jeff Hardy stumble to the ring.
And look completely confused and lost the entire way.
I think
like he wants to go shake a hand, but he's like, what the fuck are hands?
And that's the thing too, he's very much a kind of a weird character this time anyway, so you don't know if he's being weird, but then you see him stumble on the ring steps, and like, oh no, he's messed up.
Which is why we did this episode.
This main event right here is
The reason we put you through 3 hours of bullshit.
This particular match right here, this is widely regarded as a low point in professional wrestling.
I understand that.
Last match, main event. This is like the headliner of a comedy show getting super drunk and doing 5 minutes and walking off.
Only does his closer and then induces out.
Yeah. Like, calls the table in the front row a cunt, realizes it's bad, people walk out, but then he decides, you don't walk me, I walk you.
Yeah.
Gets real fucking dirty, then
I'm a
leaves out.
fucking poet.
And then, then fucking leaves. That's kind of what the equivalent of this is. I like how Taz made the comment of, he lost the title because he had no clue who his opponent would be. Well, I feel like that's kind of the way Jeff Hardy feels right now.
Yeah. Still does not know.
Still does not know who his opponent's going to be. A lot of people make note to Brian Hebner giving the X symbol as going to the ring. I don't think that really means anything. I don't know what that would mean.
He's just regulators mount up.
I think he's just really like, this is fuck, and I'm just letting you all know. I don't think that's any like clear indication of anything.
Don't put the goddamn camera on me. Don't put the goddamn camera on me.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy's like, weird look, and then he flips the bird.
Like you do. You have a couple t-shirts, you gotta flip the bird. I'm a goddamn poet.
This is very much tracking as a headliner getting drunk and telling everybody fuck off.
I'm a fucking poet. Who wants my goddamn t-shirt?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Does the t-shirt thing when he's the biggest heel, but he's still kind of the biggest baby face.
People still want the t-shirt? Well, yeah, I'd be like, fuck you. But like, yeah, I'm not paying for merch. Let's go. That's a $30 t-shirt, guys.
Before we get there, Bischoff comes out and says we're going to make this no DQ.
Why? And I like to think that Sting went, bullshit, we are.
Yeah, I feel like Sting knows exactly what the fuck's going to happen.
Call it what you want.
I think
put a cage around this at this point.
I feel like Brian Hebner knows exactly what the fuck's going to happen. And we have what happened. Crystal, after you've gone through this marathon long show, what are your thoughts on this 88-second main event?
I thought the opening sequence was much better than the main event itself.
Okay.
Where the
mask and the scorpion and some weird like video game music.
Hype. Yep, the hype was better than
I felt like that was better than
the video pack, which was better than what you got. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Quite true.
Is that unfair?
No, it is not.
Forgiving, even.
But you know what I will say? I will come out in defense of this.
Uh-oh.
Thank God it only went 88 seconds.
Hey, good on that referee for being like, no, you didn't kick out.
I almost feel like Sting really put the weight on it.
Like, there's arguably, there's rules that if you do, you get disqualified.
Okay, disqualified. Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like what the first match was.
Gotcha.
Or lack thereof in that one.
Yeah, but after going through this marathon of a show, I was thankful that we just got the 88 seconds. But I will, because you and I have been on long shows where you and I were wrestling Rock and Roll Express.
Yep.
And they basically called a match very similar to this.
Best night ever. Show goes 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We're like half an hour over. And they were real cool about it. Guys, if you want to go out there and you want to do stuff, we'll do it. But everyone's fucking leaving. 3 minutes, Ricky. Let's go.
It was almost 90 seconds as well.
It was a 3-minute match, and 2:30 of that was them getting in the ring. Yes. And then bell rang, finish, and we're done.
Yes. So
biggest reaction of the night.
Exactly. And as long as this show was, and it went 88 seconds, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I had seen enough. I was done. I'm perfectly okay with it. But people were extremely mad. And like I said, this is the promotion people love to shit on. Mm-hmm. So when you give them something this juicy, this wonderful piece of prime rib that you can just dissect and shit and hate fuck the fuck out of, the internet exploded over this. And it was so bad that TNA gave away this show for free on their streaming site. And so people could see it.
And then you gave it to me.
And I gave it to you.
Aw,
they suspended Jeff Hardy over this match.
Yes.
Made him go to rehab.
And actually, Jeff Hardy, in his interview, his Art of Wrestling interview with Colt Cabana, he brought up and said that this was a very eye-opening experience for him. This he said that.
And me.
Yeah. Everyone eyes open as fuck.
Hence why everybody wanted water today. Nobody was like,
Yeah,
"Hey, do you got a beer or anything?" Like, no, I'm on the sobriety train. I've seen Victory Road 2011. I need to get back on track.
I had a few T-shirts to get through this, and then I learned something, and I was like, man, I'm switched to water.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to water.
What's the opposite of a T-shirt? Because I'm gonna have one of those.
But he said that he was facing drug charges. He felt like the trials kept getting delayed. He was feeling a little bit better and was going to be okay about it. But that's when he started taking more somas, and that's basically
sum it up.
He was all soma up, and that's basically how this incident happened. When he watched it back, he said it was an eye opener. It was a very sobering experience for him. He went straight into outpatient rehab, and
Sting was cool with him the whole time.
Sting, understood, but Sting was like, "Nope, I'm not going to let you hurt me."
Yeah.
And we're getting out of here. But Jeff said that actually 2012 was actually one of the best years of his career. So this was kind of the turning point for him. And I think he's been pretty much sober ever since he went to that.
He's now in WWE.
Now in WWE, killing him and Matt. I do feel bad, though. Typical Matt at this time. This is before Matt really came into his own with the whole broken Matt Hardy and deletion. Like, he's trying all kinds of stuff, like cold-blooded Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
He's really trying to figure out what his next thing is, and the thing eventually what he found was broken Matt Hardy, which probably pushed him out in front of Jeff as far as exposure and likability and being more over. I'm sure at this time, Matt went to the back and was like, man, I had a really good match with AJ. And then he's like, man, I can't wait to go online and see all the positive reviews about this match. So I can't wait to type into Google Hardy Victory Road and see all the positivity just flow into me. But instead...
What you think about that, Jeff? Cool, man.
And just his brother... just flooding the internet
with awfulness.
There's probably no way that Matt was able to Google a positive review of this match because of what his brother did.
Jeff Hardy sucks so much. Fuck Matt Hardy.
Yeah, like
God damn it.
That's probably why it wasn't 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you got that because you shared DNA together.
You shared DNA. We gotta take it down. We gotta take it down a notch.
Take it out of orbit. You're taking yours back, Matt Hardy.
But like I said, it's glad that he was able to turn a corner from this. But that just right there is why this is regarded even worse than Victory Road 2009, which we've done. Which I feel like that was a far worse show than this was. I feel like this had some ups and downs, much like a good James Bond flick from the 80s. Like, it has its low points that are laughable.
Yeah.
But it has some very good action sequences, and there are some performances that I'm quite happy with, something innovative about it.
Yeah.
So, like, I think you can't really fuck the shit out of TNA.
You want to.
Like you want to, like everybody wants to. Come into TNA with an open mind. Come into it like a Roger Moore James Bond flick. Not everything's going to be great. We know that. We know Roger Moore is 57 years old. We know he's making out with a girl who has a mother that's older than Roger Moore. But we're okay with that because Christopher Walken is the villain. Okay?
We're going for it, guys.
We're going for it. There's blimps. There's great stunt work. Let's just go. Just come into TNA with an open mind. That's pretty much my thoughts on the whole show. What are your thoughts, Crystalle?
Still that way.
So,
my thoughts. I don't have any more thoughts.
This made me dumb.
I think I appreciate your perspectives on it.
Okay. Well,
How is that?
I'm a goddamn poet. Fucking poet.
I feel like there were a lot of similarities to comedy.
Yeah.
The depression end of it all.
And the tragedy.
All of it, yes.
Yeah,
the tragedy.
failing so much.
Yes. The creativity, the tragedy, the whole...
Going to rehab.
The hacking it, the going to rehab. Yeah, there's a lot of similar elements.
We're just off the heels of Pablo Francisco. Like,
I saw that. That's what I thought about when you said that. I was like,
so there you go. Jeff Hardy is the Pablo Francisco of professional wrestling.
It was so bad. It was so bad to watch.
Especially when he's like, you think I can get the crowd back? Think I can
get
the crowd back?
Yes.
If you ever want to see a human being get stuck on repeat like a vinyl record, look at Pablo Francisco. Meltdown.
No,
So,
done.
Done. Zane, what are your thoughts?
We did it. This has probably been our best episode.
Yes.
This podcast was better than this show.
I agree.
Probably the year of 2011 for TNA also.
And, we came in at a stealth hour and 15 minutes.
Love
almost.
it.
So,
We're getting real good at this.
We're getting pretty good at this. But
We're podcasting real good.
Absolutely. But before we get out of here, this is going to come out next Thursday. Crystalle, is there anything you want to plug and let people know they get in touch with you? Or if anybody's like, hey, the only thing I know about pro wrestling is Junkyard Dog.
Favorite wrestler's still Kane.
Or whatever. Anything you want to plug or let people know how they can get in touch with you?
They can follow me on Twitter at Crystallera, CrystallEra. And then you can find me on Facebook.
Facebook? You're on Facebook too?
It's all this, wrestling. Beer money.
So James Storm, if you're listening.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, let's see.
The end.
Zane, like I said, next Thursday, what do you want to know about?
This coming Saturday, I'll be at AML Wrestling in Thomasville, North Carolina. The following weekend, Jake, you and I will be at we'll be at Animate in Miami.
Yes.
Then I'll be going to Vegas for the wedding of Bob Keller, the second wedding of Bob Keller. He didn't get it right the first time.
Oh, who does?
Yeah.
So, I'll be with you at Animate. I've actually got a bunch of comedy shows before this actually comes out, so I can't really plug those, but let's just say I crushed all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nailed it, boys.
Nailed it.
Fucking poet.
Like I said, Animate. Yeah, I'm a fucking poet. I may have a meltdown on the Thursday one. So,
Why not?
it's at Petra's. It's got kind of got a David Lynch feel, anyways. There, so like
You've probably already read about it in the newspapers and on Facebook.
yeah. So, yeah, you've probably already heard about that by now. Actually drops the same day as this episode happened. So, come see my meltdown at Petra's tonight. If you watch this if you listen to this in a timely fashion.
Which you don't.
Which you don't, judging by the subscribers, everybody. Like, once you support me like you support the other guy who shares my birthday, Matt Jackson, I dare you.
I have t-shirts at fucking Hot Topic. I mean, I slide them into the discount section. They're there.
Yeah, when I say Hot Topic, I mean howdidthisgetbooked.com is what I meant. But we have Grassroots Professional Wrestling on August 13th in Eden, North Carolina. Also, too.
August?
I'm like, wow, you're a planner.
How many shirts you have?
Once again, I said Meltdown is coming, guys. October 13th, and then also at the end of the month, I've got Wrestling Revolver and Fest Wrestling. One of those is in Iowa, and then the next day I have to be in Florida the next day. Still don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I'll figure it out. But
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Those are some big ones right there that if you're in the Florida area or the Iowa area, make sure you check those out. But as always, if I've made a mistake, or if you want to let me know something, make sure you get up with me on Twitter at ManscoutManning or email me at jake@sslshow.com. As I aforementioned, howdidthisgetbooked.com is where you can buy my t-shirts. If you want to know how you could be directed to the Young Bucks t-shirt store, go to howdidthisgetbooked.com. I'll direct you there. Maybe
email it.
Email me there. Yeah, that's the best way to get up and get like the t-shirts at Hot Topic, or maybe you buy one of my t-shirts instead. You're like, hey, these t-shirts are just as good, right?
Maybe you buy one of our t-shirts, wear that t-shirt, go to Hot Topic, and give the Young Buck t-shirts the finger.
There we go. And you know what? Anybody that does that, I will mention your screen name over and over again, much like I must mention Evan Pitfield. Thank you very much for writing a review for howdidthisgetbooked.com.
You mean Normal Dennis didn't go and
I haven't. I didn't check before this episode.
Oh man!
So
I hope it says it. Fuck Evan Pitfield.
I hope so too. Because my standard is that whoever writes a review, once I see that review, I will mention your name until I see another review pop up. So Evan Pitfield, right now you are currently the name that I'm mentioning right now.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. But as always, guys, make sure you write a review so you can fuck Evan or fuck over Dennis, who might have fucked over Evan. But also, too, make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, for all of those things. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of How Did This Get Booked?
Woo! I'm a poet!
I'm a fucking poet.